Hey everyone, welcome to a real quick video that I want to do on Bitcoin just as an update to the video that I did yesterday. I actually did two videos yesterday on Bitcoin, which is a little out of the ordinary, but nonetheless I wanted to give just a real quick update on this. And before I get started, of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I'm just giving my opinion on the market. And also just a real quick plug for our Discord server. If you're not on it, there are lots of really great conversations going on in there right now. And if you'd like to be a part of it, just throw in a comment here in the YouTube tab. I'd be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. And of course, 40 to 50% of the viewers are not subscribers. Real quick moment there to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. Okay, so I want to take a look at two different things here before we, get too deep into it. Yeah, I've got, lots of changes that I need to make to my chart here, and so I'm going to make these changes. As always, I'm going to do these live. I'm not, preparing anything ahead of time, with the exception of maybe a couple things that I may have put in, as we're having these discussions in the Discord. But what I want to focus on, our green channel, which was violated, but we've kind of pulled back into it. I also want to focus on this purple channel. I think both of these are equally as important right now, at least for the time being. But more importantly, this purple channel. My colors might be off. That might not be purple. That might be more of a violet. But at any rate, what I've got here is I've got a touch up here at the top, right up here, about 10.330. I've got another touch up here at the top. So right a little over 10,000, right? And then I've got this touch down here, right? So I didn't take it further, although I could. I could have taken this down further and taken it down to where this bottom was. If I take it down to this lower, this tells me that we could be coming even lower, maybe down to 8,800. But one thing that I can say here is if we do come up here to this bottom, we hit this almost perfectly. We kind of bounced, maybe a little bit of a front run. We're sitting here, just teetering on 9,000. But going back to our waves that we have here, which is all of our different stochastics, we've got so much confluence that we are close to a bottom. I'm comfortable sitting in an underwater long position at this point, even if it's just for just for a little while. We are just now starting to come out of our trough, and so this looks okay. This looks okay to me. I think it's all right for us to be, down breaking below 9,000. I think that's all right. If we look over to the left, let's take a look and see what we've got. I'm going to move to a higher time frame here. I'm going to remove our stochastic indicators. I want to focus on blocks. I want to focus on candle blocks, and the ones that I want to focus on is going to be this over here. So we've got this upper, we've got this lower. So let's just go ahead and outline this. So we've got the top here and the move down here to the bottom of this candle. So I'm focusing on this candle, this green candle right here. Now, of course, we had a red candle that closed below it. We had a red candle that opened up after it. We had some consolidation in here, and then we moved up. This is going to be the important level, or the important area for us to be looking at accumulating long positions. So, we're breaking right below 9,000 right now. Again, it's very possible that we come back down to 8,900 or so. But as long as we keep getting absorption at 9,000, I think this looks pretty good. Definitely there was lots of absorption happening right here at this range between 9,100 and 9,200, which is the top of this range, which equated to basically our resistance, then our support, and then we were finding lots of support there, but it was 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours break. And so now, I'm interested to see what happens here. Yesterday in my video, I was talking about, closing above, I think at the time I was looking for a closure above 9,400, closure above 9,300. At this point, I'm looking for a closure above 9,200. 9,200. I mean, it would be really great if we can close above 9,100, but what we're starting to see, and you can see this trend here, you can see this trend. And the S&P 500 looks very similar to this. I'll probably be doing an update on the S&P 500 as well. But what we're seeing here is we have a low, excuse me, we've got a low, and then we've got a higher low, and then we have a higher low. All right, while at the same time, we're creating, you know, here's a high, and then we're creating a higher high, and then we created our ultimate higher high. Everybody's talking about a blow off top. That didn't really happen here. That didn't really happen. So this is why I'm kind of okay being a little bullish. But what we have done here, we've created a low, and I'm going to change the color of this to red. Let me fix this right here. I'm going to create red because we're starting to create a little bit of a different trend. So we have a low, then we have a lower low, and then we have a lower low. But then up here we've got, you know, we've got our high, and then we have a lower high, and then we have a lower high. And I would expect we're probably going to create a lower high. I was talking about this yesterday as well. Even though that there is a short-term bullish bias, I think probably at this point, because of the amount of time that has gone by, 9,700 is probably going to be as high as we go. More than likely, it's probably only going to go up to maybe 9,600. Depending on how long this takes. I'm going to keep an eye on this purple channel, and I'll make adjustments as I see fit. But for right now, I see no reason to think that we're going to make new highs. I do think that a bounce is likely incoming. And again, this is all based upon our indicators that we talk about all the time. We've got, at least let me go back to the 1 hour. We're starting to, again, I mentioned this a little bit ago, we're starting to come out of the rut, but it wouldn't surprise me for us to go back into it, give it a few hours. It wouldn't surprise me for us to come down here to 8,900. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. And what that would allow is that would allow the hourly stochastic to come back down, while at the same time the 12-hour is down here. Now, when was the last time we had the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and the 12-hour all in oversold conditions? Well, let's just go back and find out. The last time all three of them were in oversold conditions was right back here, and things are starting to look similar, but we aren't seeing like the big red and then a big green then flip to red for a reaccumulation. We haven't seen that yet, but this is looking very similar to what we've got. So I would like to see a nice push up and likely a pullback, and then that's where I would be interested in buying, because you know things are looking very similar to what they did back here at 8,300, and we're sitting here at about 9,000. So just be careful with long positions, but definitely longing down here is going to be a lot better than longing, say, up here. When you know, obviously we got caught in this one. You know, we were talking about Ethereum going up to 300. And of course we got the rejection. We did the stop loss at 280, and now Ethereum is sitting down pretty darn low. Hey Irish, yeah, I do all of my videos live. I do all my videos live. So yeah, I definitely believe that we are in a downtrend. I definitely believe we're going to come back down here to these levels, but I also believe that there's a lot of people that are trying to short here in this range, and they're probably going to get caught. And maybe this is just my own personal bias, again, my own personal opinion here, but I do think that we're going to get some relief to come up to potentially 96 to 9,700. I'll evaluate what happens once we get up there, if we get up there, because it might not happen. But all I can really say right now is, you know, our metrics are telling us that we're going to be turning to the upside, and it's probably going to happen, you know, within the next day. So you know, we'll see how things go, but that's what you know, that's what I've got. You know, I am definitely keeping an eye down here at 8,400, 8,500, potentially lower than that. If you're on our Discord and you're part of our insured membership, then you know that we have a specific model for this, and you know, we've seen this coming for a while, and things are just starting to come into play. But I do think that we do have a little bit of upside, and then we're going to continue down. I don't think it's going to go straight down, but I definitely believe that this is going to happen. And as far as what the count is, I'm going to make some adjustments here based on what I see. So I was quick to call this an A, B, C, but what I also believe in that we see here is this move down here, and this would be the A, and then we have an ABC into the B, and then what we've got here is potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here into this C. So we potentially have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the A, B, C into the B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here into the C, which would finish that correction. I don't think this is a WXY anymore, just for the record. We had tinkered with that as a count there. I think that we are actually in an ABC correction that likely has, excuse me, just completed. So from here, we've got our A, and then we have our B, and then we've got our C. The bigger question is, was this an ABC of the first move? I think it probably is. Maybe this is the W and we're going to be working on an X and then go down for the Y. That's possible as well. But I definitely think this 5, 3, 5 into the A and then an ABC into the B, and then we've got this move down here into the C, which would complete this correction. And again, as long as we as long as we continue closing hourlies above 8,900 to 9,000, I think that this is still going to be perfectly valid. If we start to violate this channel, probably we'll make a slight adjustment, pull this down just a little bit. But for now, this looks like what is the valid trade. And I do think that we're going to be moving up here. So, longing from 9,000 to 8,900 is likely going to be a good play. Definitely do low leverage. So if you do need to get out of that trade, you can do it with a small loss. And spot buys down here, not a bad idea either. Historically we have had support here, in the 9,000 range. So I have no reason to believe that we're not going to find the same here as well. We've got, we're talking about this cluster back here, but we definitely have this cluster over here to pay attention to as well. And I could easily just pull this over and continue that bias back this way. We had resistance on the lower, we had resistance at the median, we had some liquidity hunting up here before we had a rejection, but ultimately pushing back through, reconsolidating inside of this range, push up, then we had support. So now we're sitting back here at the consolidation zone, and we'll see how things go. A little longer than I expected, so I appreciate you guys joining. I appreciate you guys watching. And, if you do have any comments or anything, feel free to throw them in the chat. As I mentioned before, if you want to be part of the Discord, just throw in a comment in the YouTube chat. I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. Doesn't cost anything to be part of the Discord. But, if you want to use our indicators or anything, we have packages for that as well. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, good evening. Stay happy, stay healthy.